And most of these truck drivers were people of color, and they talked about, hearing some of the racism over the CB. This is, again, an industry populated by a lot of white men over the age of 55. This group of people overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Some people have talked about, aggressive truck drivers cutting them off or not being helpful. So obviously, the more populated it is with people of color, I think you'll see less of that. But how can you encourage people to come and disrupt this space when it seems a bit unwelcoming?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about some black on black violence today, because that's exactly what this is. I'm just wondering, how in the world are these race crusaders, these race pimps, these race hustlers gonna manage to blame the white man for what appears to be a beef between two black women that is spilled out into the public, and now the race hustlers of America are upset, melting down in tears over the fact that Tiffany Cross got fired from MSNBC by a black woman after Tucker Carlson exposed her to the world as a racist, okay? She is racist against white people, okay? And a lot of people are speculating whether or not that actually is the reason that she got fired, okay? Did she get fired for her racist rhetoric? Which, I believed that at first, that she got fired for that, because again, her rhetoric was just off the wall. Okay, I mean, it was just like, what in the world, right? I can't believe this is on our airwaves. This type of stuff, again, they accuse Fox News of doing, except Fox News doesn't do that. She actually does spew open racism against white people on her show when she had the show. Okay, but there's more details that are coming out about this that suggest that maybe the reason why she got fired is because she had beef with a black woman, right? The black woman that is actually leading MSNBC. Again, the irony here is that she spent so much time on her show trying to go after the white man, right? And how the white man is so bad and the white man is the cause of all our problems. Except it seems like in this instance, the white man is not your problem, it's actually the black woman, right? Which again is a hilarious twist. So let's read about this, because Tiffany Cross apparently was doing some stuff that you just don't do in corporate America, and that's the reason why she got fired, or part of the reason why she got fired. So let's read about this. Ex-MSNBC host Tiffany Cross learned that she was getting pushed out days ahead of her exit, and allegedly threatened to go out in a blaze and take down the cable TV network and its boss, Rashida Jones. The Post has learned from sources close to MSNBC. The controversial anchor, whose weekend show, quote, The Cross Connection, was abruptly canceled earlier this week as MSNBC elected not to renew her contract, according to sources, began frantically calling other journalists, media executives, and social activists a week before her ouster in a bid to rally support, a source with knowledge alleged. Quote, she made calls saying, quote, I'm going out in a blaze and I'm taking down a network and going after Rashida. A source close to the situation claimed, paraphrasing Cross. All right, so again, Rashida Jones is, I think, the president of MSNBC. She is a black woman. Again, I want y'all to tell me, where's the white man involved in all this, okay? Because again, these people, like Tiffany Cross, she dedicated her whole show to bashing the white man, right? The white man is the cause of all her problems. I'm trying to figure out, where does the white man come in on this, okay? I'm just saying. MSNBC execs and Jones, the network's president, did not get wind of the alleged phone calls until after Cross was let go, sources told the Post. It's unclear how Cross knew of her looming dismissal, but insiders speculated that her agent had been given the news while trying to negotiate a new contract for his client. Okay, basically what they're saying here is that Tiffany Cross was not blindsided. When the story initially came out, they said that Tiffany Cross was blindsided, that, they just released her, they just cut her, right? Again, after the Tucker Carlson thing, and then also after she made comments calling Florida the penis of America and it needs to be castrated on Charlamagne the God show, I think that next day she got released. So this MSNBC insider is saying that Cross already knew that she was going to get fired. That's what it's saying. Neither Cross nor her agent, WME's Henry Reich, responded to requests for comment. Her lawyer, Brian Friedman, also did not return calls or emails for comment. MSNBC declined to comment. MSNBC insiders claim Cross was ousted partly over her habit of making vulgar comments and name calling on air, but the Post has learned from MSNBC insiders that she also had been under fire for allegedly racking up more than $100,000 in expenses for 5-star hotel stays. Wow. During her 2-year tenure at MSNBC, the host took trips to Los Angeles and the Super Bowl, portraying them as work trips, sources claim. Cross Oscar's trip, in which she allegedly stayed at the Beverly Winshaw on Rodeo Drive for an extended stay, raised eyebrows, according to a source. Quote, she's staying at a hotel MSNBC's execs don't stay at, the source said, of the Four Seasons owned hotel, which charges more than $1,000 a night for a basic room during high season. Wow. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not sure if you guys that work in corporate America have had this experience of having the company pay for a trip or some type of business trip. I have. And when you do that, when a company pays for you to go somewhere on a business trip, at least the company I was working at, you could actually, call up the hotel, or there was a internal application that you use to find a hotel to buy plane tickets and stuff like that. And it's not something that's explicitly said, but everybody kind of understands that you don't go with the most expensive thing. You don't go and buy super expensive flight tickets or like first class tickets or something like that. Not unless, again, you're an actual executive, not Tiffany Cross. Or you don't go get the most expensive hotel. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to get a super cheap one, but you just get something that's reasonably priced, right? Again, you're not explicitly told what you can and can't get. But again, it's just kind of one of those things where it's understood. It's just proper etiquette when you are just, again, a lower level employee, manager, whatever, that you don't go and buy super expensive stuff on the company's dime. But Tiffany Cross, on the other hand, apparently she thought otherwise. Okay, now, again, the woke revolutionaries are disputing this. The woke revolutionaries like Roland Martin is saying that this is a hit piece. This is MSNBC insiders spreading lies about Tiffany Cross to justify why she was fired. Quote, she mistook working in television news for being a celebrity, the source added. Quote, she was making north of $200,000 and she acted like she made $5 million. basically saying she was a nobody, right? She was a nobody. She was expendable. Again, $200,000. That's less than I thought she made, but also more than she deserved to get paid, right? Let's keep it 100. But hey, I mean, $200,000 is not bad, especially when you only got, one show on the weekends. Elsewhere, Cross allegedly irked colleagues as she demanded more office space, despite the fact that she was only on the air once a week. An insider added, management wasn't receptive, partly because her show was in last place, despite her public insistence that her numbers were strong, according to sources close to the situation. Yeah, this is facts. Again, people, the woke revolutionaries, they'll come out here and say, I don't know why they got rid of Tiffany Cross. She had the highest rated show on MSNBC. Yeah, but see, they leave out the fact that her show was actually the lowest rated show when you compare that to other shows in her time slot. That is actually the relevant comparison. It doesn't matter what her show's ratings were in comparison to the rest of the network on the weekends, because all the shows are bad, right? That's why they're on the weekends, because they're bad or the hosts are new. What matters is how did it perform compared to competitors in the same time slot. That is really what matters. In a statement on her exit, Cross claimed that her show garnered more than 4.6 million monthly viewers, and that was MSNBC's highest rated weekend show. According to Nielsen, the Cross connection never came close to that number, drawn between 704,000 and 465,000 a week since June. For the year, Cross averaged 548,000 viewers. Yeah, so I mean, basically, Tiffany Cross's show and my show, right? I would say on an average month, they perform about the same. But over the last month, I feel like I've blown her show out the water, considering how I don't have a big network behind my show. It's just me, right? It's just me, okay? And I get more viewers per show, okay, or per day than she does. I mean, she only has one show a week, but still, she has MSNBC, a whole big corporate media outlet behind her. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Again, this is the person that the woke revolutionaries, race hustlers, was saying was so unjustly fired. She was performing so well. But see, what we know, guys, is that they don't hold black women to high standards, right? Not liberal black women, that is. Okay, they can't be held to actual real standards. Okay, the standards are always lowered for them. So even though she did terribly, her show was terrible. No. She actually did great, right? She actually did great. Last month, the show reeled in just 605,000 viewers on average, trailing CNN Newsroom with 696,000 viewers and Fox News Kabuto Live, which tallied nearly 1.4 million viewers. Ratings also show that MSNBC Live with Alex Wilk is the network's highest rated weekend show. Okay, so they just lied. So her show was not the highest rated show on the weekend for MSNBC. And again, her show performed the worst when compared to her time slot. Okay? So I'm just saying, she just wasn't good, right? She just wasn't good. You've got to win the room to survive bad ratings, a source close to MSNBC said. One of Jones's first major hires, Cross, was meant to attract black viewers to the network. A former Washington bureau chief for BET, Cross worked as a political guest analyst for MSNBC before eventually grabbing an anchor chair in 2020. Sources said doubts had grown whether Cross's contract would be renewed. Nevertheless, her abrupt, dismal days before the midterm elections surprised some insiders who expected she would at least finish the contract, which had been set to expire December 31st. Fans of Cross' outspoken, tell it like it is delivery blasted MSNBC on social media for canceling the Cross Connection, which aired on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to noon. In a statement posted to her Instagram, Cross portrayed her ouster as backlash for her unapologetic takes on gender, race, and politics. But inside MSNBC, execs grew frustrated with Cross's habit of attacking news hosts at other cable networks. Cross had been in public feuds with the likes of Fox News' Tucker Carlson and Sirius XM's Megyn Kelly, who she called a blackface expert, as well as Bill Maher, who she called an angry white old man. Elsewhere, Cross characterized CNN's Van Jones, ESPN anchor Sage Steele, and former MSNBC anchor Carlos Watson as black journalists who are not necessarily black voices. Yeah, she loves saying that. Quote, I see my colleagues dilute themselves, water down their points, go out of their way to make white folks comfortable because they think somehow that is going to win them some prize, Cross said in an after-show video with commentators Jason Johnson and Roland Martin posted to her Instagram without naming names. A source close to the situation said the network standard team and Jones sat down with Cross multiple times during her tenure, warning her to refrain from name-calling and the use of vulgar, lewd language. Their problem was never Cross's message, but her delivery, the source added. Okay, so we all kind of know what's going on here, okay? What's happening at MSNBC is funny because it is clear that there is some type of beef between her and Rashida Jones, this lady right here, who is the president at MSNBC. Okay, they got beef. Now, whether this stuff is true about her spending all this money on company dime, I don't know. Because there are probably other employees that do that too. But what I do know is that this is a prime example of, I think, a more common experience in corporate America for black people than what a lot of the race hustlers and the woke revolutionaries want to admit. That the person that's actually holding you back the most in corporate America is not the white man, right? Or racism. It's actually really other black folks. Because a lot of times, again, this is something even black folks will acknowledge, that black people will hold each other back because black people don't like to see other black people get ahead, right? Jealousy sets in. There's resentment towards that person for being in a position that, they're not in, and they'll try to pull that person down. Now, I'm not saying that this is what happened in this situation because I don't know, but from what it sounds like, from what I've been reading, this alleged beef that she had with her boss seems to have played a role in her getting fired, along with her ratings, along with her rhetoric, along with, again, just the fact that she just had a bad show. She's not super talented. All that played into why she got fired. So, again, it's just funny to think about because her whole show was basically about how the white man is bad, right? The white man is the cause of everybody's problems. But for her personally, in her personal life, it doesn't seem like the white man was the biggest problem. or even a white woman, right? She complained about the white woman too, right? The white man and the white woman were the cause of everybody's problems, okay? Not in this case, not in your case, Tiffany. It just seems that, again, your biggest problem was the black woman. Which, again, I guarantee you, when it comes to most black women in corporate America, I guarantee you they have more issues, right? Probably with other black women dealing with them than they do dealing with the white man. I'm just saying. Maybe I could be wrong about that. But what I do know is that if Tiffany Cross was as talented as people say she is, she should just start a YouTube channel. But the writing is on the wall for these liberal black women that go out on their own to try to start YouTube channels that come from mainstream liberal media. Think about people like Creed Champion, like Jamel Hill. They've utterly failed. They've started so many different projects, podcasts, YouTube channels, shows or whatever, and they all fail. Well, why do they all fail? It's because nobody gives a damn about what they have to say, right? Nobody cares about what liberal black women have to say. That's just some real stuff. I'm telling you. Now, black conservative women like Candace Owens, she can hold her own, right? She can hold her own. Look at Dominant Silk, okay? I'm just saying. But when it comes to these black liberal women, these race crusaders, the ones that, play the victimhood card for a living, it doesn't seem like they actually have an organic audience. They would not have an audience at all if it wasn't for the corporate networks that were propping them up. Almost as if nobody cares about what they actually have to say, right? Which is why Tiffany Cross is so afraid just to go out on her own and just to do her own show. And she could probably do a lot better than she's doing at MSNBC, to be honest with you, if she's nearly as talented and as popular as they claim. If she's as popular and as talented as they claim, she could do better on YouTube. Why even stay at MSNBC? But again, she knows that liberal black women haven't had a good track record of going out on their own, right? I'm just saying. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.